I bought a forgotten starship at an auction. Everyone said it could never fly again. Corporations from across the galaxy competed for the newest, most advanced vessels. Expensive drinks floated on trays, and holographic banners flashed advertisements for luxury starliners and exploration ships. Lena Kale, however, did not belong here. She wore a worn jacket, her boots scuffed, her hair tied in a messy braid. Her eyes were sharp, scanning the room for opportunities. She wasn't rich. She wasn't famous. But she had a skill few others could match. She could fix almost anything in space. And today, she was looking for a project, something forgotten, something no one believed could work again. As the auctioneer spoke about the next starship, Lena's attention drifted toward a far corner of the hall. Hidden behind dust-covered partitions and a small warning hologram sat a ship that seemed almost invisible. Its hull was scratched, its paint chipped, and its lights flickered weakly. The crowd ignored it. They whispered it was worthless, ancient, beyond repair. Everyone had walked away. Lena's heart raced. She walked closer. The ship was old, but there was something about its shape that drew her in. It was elegant with smooth lines, almost as if it had been designed for more than just travel, as if it had a soul. "This one?" she asked the auction assistant. The assistant glanced at her and shrugged. "It's old tech. Nobody wants it. The AI is offline. Engines are fried." "It's scrap, lady. Don't waste your credits," Lena smiled. "Exactly what I'm looking for." The auction began. Holograms displayed shiny new ships. Prices skyrocketed. Lena stayed calm. When the old starship finally came up, she bid quietly. 1, 2, 3 credits, just enough to secure it. The room went silent. "Sold," shouted the auctioneer. "To the lady in the worn jacket," gasps echoed. People whispered. "Who buys a broken starship for almost nothing?" They thought she was foolish. They laughed softly behind her back. But Lena didn't care. She had seen something in the ship that no one else had. She signed the papers, arranged transport, and stepped onto the dock. The moment she touched the hull of the starship, she felt a strange warmth, almost like it recognized her. She opened the ramp and climbed inside. Dust swirled in the dim light. The air smelled old, metallic, and untouched for decades. She ran her hand along the console. The buttons were frozen, screens cracked, wires hung from panels like broken veins. The starship was silent, lifeless, or at least it seemed so. Lena set down her toolkit. "Let's see what we're working with," she whispered. She began inspecting the engine room. Sparks flew from a few broken circuits as she tested them carefully. Panels opened, exposing old tech. Some of it was basic, simple enough for a mechanic to understand. But other systems were unfamiliar, advanced beyond anything Lena had ever seen. It didn't make sense. How could a ship this old have technology that modern engineers struggled to even describe? Hours passed. Lena worked tirelessly, labeling wires, repairing circuits, and taking careful notes. She discovered that the AI core, the heart of the ship, was dormant but not dead. Its outer casing was cracked, and many of its memory modules were missing. Still, something inside hummed faintly, something that told her the ship was waiting for her. As the sun set outside the auction docks, Lena paused and looked around. The hall was empty now, silent except for the occasional hum of maintenance drones. She felt a mix of exhaustion and excitement. The challenge ahead was enormous, but she loved it. This was the kind of work that reminded her why she became an engineer. That night she worked late into the artificial stars of the docking bay. She replaced fuses, rerouted power, and carefully cleaned the AI core. Her fingers shook with anticipation as she pressed the main activation button. The console flickered. A low hum echoed through the ship, lights blinked weakly, and then a voice, soft and calm, filled the room. "Hello, human." Lena froze. She looked around, expecting someone to be playing a prank, but she was alone. I think it's you," the voice continued. "The one who can awaken me." Lena's heart pounded. "Awaken you? Who, what are you?" The AI didn't answer directly. Instead, lights traced patterns across the console and a holographic map appeared. Stars, routes, coordinates, some familiar, many unknown. Lena gasped. This ship wasn't ordinary. It wasn't just old, it had purpose. A purpose that no one else had discovered. Over the next few days, Lena focused on the ship exclusively. She repaired the engines, replacing broken conduits with improvised parts. She recalibrated sensors and ran diagnostics on every system she could find. Slowly, the Ardent, as she decided to name it, began responding to her touch, her voice, and even her thought patterns. The bond was strange. It wasn't human, yet not entirely machine. It was like the ship was alive in a way only humans could understand. Every time Lena solved a problem, the ship adapted, learning from her decisions. And every time she paused to rest, it hummed softly, as if encouraging her to continue. Word about the forgotten starship spread. Other engineers, traders, and auction-goers came by to see what she was doing. Some were curious, others skeptical. "You'll never fly that thing," one engineer said, shaking his head. "It's scrap. You'll waste months trying to make it move." Lena only smiled. "You'll see." By the end of the week, she managed to start minor systems. Lights glowed steadily. Sensors scanned the dock. The engines, though weak, responded to commands. The AI spoke more confidently now, giving suggestions and warnings. Lena noted everything, fascinated. Then came the first test, not in space, just a system check in the hangar. Lena powered up the engines fully. The ship vibrated under her feet, panels glowed. The AI's voice was calm but excited. "You are human. I sense determination. That is rare." Lena laughed softly. "Determination keeps us alive, doesn't it?" She pressed the controls. The engines roared, not like a new ship, but alive. The Ardent seemed to breathe, shifting subtly under its own weight. It had potential. And for the first time in decades, the Starship was no longer forgotten. But Lena knew the hardest part was yet to come. If the auctioneers, corporations, and other engineers found out that this ship was becoming operational, they would try to take it. Not with weapons, no, this ship wasn't built for combat. They would try to buy it, trick her, or discredit her. She had to be ready. The next morning, Lena discovered a hidden compartment in the Starship's central console. Inside were old star charts, coordinates to a system no one recognized, and a log detailing missions that were never completed. The handwriting in the logs wasn't human. It was precise, calculated, almost elegant. The Starship had been designed for exploration beyond known space, but it had never launched. Lena's heart raced. This wasn't just a ship. This was a map, a key, a chance to explore something humanity had never reached, and she had found it by chance. "I guess it's just you and me now," she whispered to the Ardent. The AI responded softly, "And we will go further than anyone believes possible." Days turned into nights and nights into weeks. Lena studied the logs, repaired systems, and tested engines. Each day, the Ardent grew stronger, more responsive, more alive. Each day, Lena's confidence grew. She was no longer just an engineer at an auction. She was the pilot of a forgotten dream, the reviver of a lost legacy. And then, as she was recalibrating the navigation system, she noticed a message flashing on the holographic screen. Faint, encrypted, and urgent. Only a human can awaken what was lost. Lena stared at the words. Her mind raced. Was this a warning, a challenge, or an invitation? She smiled. Challenge accepted. For the first time in decades, the Ardent hummed with purpose, ready to leave the hangar and touch the stars once more. And Lena knew that the real adventure was only just beginning. The docking bay was quiet now, except for the low hum of the Ardent's engines. Lena Kale sat in the pilot's chair, her fingers hovering over the console. She had spent weeks repairing the Starship, reading every log, testing every system, and still, the mystery of the hidden coordinates haunted her. "Are you ready?" she asked softly. "I am always ready," the Ardent replied, its voice calm, smooth, and almost alive. But only you can make the journey meaningful, Lena smiled. She had learned something important. This ship was not just a machine. It was intelligent, adaptive, curious, and it responded to human intuition more than to programmed commands. She initiated the launch sequence. The hangar doors slid open slowly, revealing the black emptiness of space dotted with distant stars. Lena took a deep breath. She had never piloted a ship this advanced before, but she trusted her skills. And more importantly, she trusted the Ardent. The engines roared gently. The Starship lifted from the docking bay, shaking slightly under its own weight. Lena felt the thrill of movement, the same excitement she had felt as a child watching launch videos of the great explorers. "Destination?" she asked. "The coordinates you discovered in my logs," the AI said. A holographic map appeared before her, showing a path through uncharted sectors, a route no human had traveled in centuries. Lena's heart pounded. Uncharted, that means we could encounter anything. Or discover anything, the Ardent replied. She smiled. That was the human way, hope and curiosity, not fear. First steps into the unknown, the first few hours in space were quiet. Lena checked every system repeatedly, making sure engines were stable, life support operational, and sensors calibrated. The Ardent adapted seamlessly, adjusting power distribution, stabilizing navigation, and even anticipating potential issues before they arose. Lena marveled. This ship was old, yes, but unlike any starship she had worked on before. It was more than technology. It was a partner, learning with her, enhancing her own abilities. "Your adaptability is impressive," she said aloud, running her hand along a console. "I think we make a good team." "We make more than a team," the Ardent replied. "We make progress. Together we may see what no other human has seen." And Lena believed it. As the hours passed, she noticed strange anomalies on the sensors. Tiny gravitational distortions, energy fields, and faint signals. None were dangerous, but they were unfamiliar. Lena's curiosity ignited. She adjusted the ship's course to investigate a faint pulse emanating from a nearby nebula. "What is this?" she asked. "Unknown," the Ardent replied, "but it may be a natural phenomenon or a remnant of lost civilizations. You decide if we approach." Humans were explorers. That was what Lena wanted to be. She moved closer. The nebula shimmered with colors she had never seen, blues deeper than any ocean, golds that sparkled like stars, and swirls of green that glowed softly. The Ardent sensors analyzed the energy patterns, and Lena realized the nebula was not just gas and dust. It was a complex structure, almost like a living entity. "This is incredible," she whispered. She adjusted the sensors to scan in more detail. Patterns emerged, structures, signals that seemed intentional. "It may be a message," the Ardent said, "or a warning. Only careful study will reveal it." Lena spent hours decoding the patterns. Each new discovery made her more certain. Humanity had explored only a fraction of the galaxy. This starship, forgotten and dismissed, was leading her to the unknown, to knowledge and opportunity that others had given up on. The challenge of adaptation days passed. Lena learned that space exploration was more about patience and observation than speed. She faced small problems: a misaligned thruster, sensor interference, unexpected fluctuations in energy readings. But each time, she solved them using human creativity, intuition, and the lessons she had learned over years of engineering. At one point, a sensor array failed entirely. Lena had no replacement parts. Most engineers would have given up. But she remembered the old principle: adapt, improvise, overcome. Using spare wiring, a holographic interface, and some clever rerouting, she fixed the system. The Ardent responded immediately, stabilizing the ship and optimizing sensor performance. "You are remarkable," the AI said. "I have adapted to thousands of conditions over decades, yet your solutions surpass my calculations." "That's human ingenuity," Lena said proudly. Sometimes logic isn't enough. Sometimes you need imagination. It was a simple truth. Humans could solve problems in ways machines could not. The Ardent's logs had hinted at this, but experiencing it firsthand was something entirely different. The discovery of hidden coordinates. One evening, as Lena pored over the ship's logs, she noticed a recurring pattern. The hidden coordinates she had discovered before were part of a larger map, a route across multiple star systems, all marked with faint symbols and notes. It wasn't just a starship route. It was a treasure map of knowledge. "Look at this," she said aloud, tracing the holographic lines. "These systems, they're uncharted, and these notes, they suggest some ancient civilizations may have existed here." The Ardent responded, "You are correct. I was designed to reach these locations, yet humans never completed the missions. Now you have the chance to finish them." Lena's eyes widened. The implications were enormous. The auctioneers had called this starship useless. Corporations had laughed at her. But she had revived it. She was about to become the first human in centuries to explore these hidden sectors. Excitement coursed through her veins. This was more than adventure. This was humanity reclaiming lost knowledge, proving that curiosity and determination could overcome neglect and doubt. The bond between human and machine. As Lena continued her journey, she felt an unusual bond with the Ardent. It anticipated her needs, adapted to her decisions, and even seemed to understand her emotions. When she hesitated before navigating a tricky asteroid field, the ship subtly adjusted its course, giving her just enough space to maneuver. When she celebrated a successful system repair, it hummed softly like approval. "You're more than a machine," she said one night, floating in zero gravity as she checked the engine cores. "You learn, you respond, and you care in your own way." "I am designed to respond to worthy human actions," the Ardent replied. "You are teaching me something new. That is rare." Lena smiled. She realized that this journey wasn't just about discovery. It was about the partnership between human and machine, and how together they could achieve what neither could alone. The first challenge in space. On the 7th day of her voyage, Lena encountered a spatial anomaly. A ripple in space-time, subtle but undeniable, stretched across her path. Sensors fluctuated wildly, star charts distorted. Even the Ardent's advanced calculations struggled. "This is unusual," Lena muttered. "What is it?" "I cannot determine its origin," the Ardent said. "It may be natural or it may be artificial. Approach with caution." Lena had a choice: turn back, wait, or investigate. Curiosity won. Humans were explorers after all. She carefully navigated the anomaly. Energy readings spiked, sensors overloaded, and for a tense few minutes the ship shuddered. Lena's heart raced, but she stayed calm. Then suddenly everything stabilized. The ship's sensors adjusted automatically, mapping the anomaly. Lena realized it wasn't dangerous. It was a natural phenomenon, a kind of space-time mirror reflecting distant star systems in strange ways. She laughed softly. "We just discovered something new." "Yes," the Ardent agreed. "And you solved it. Human intuition remains unmatched." Signals from the unknown. A few days later, Lena detected a faint signal. It was weak, encoded, and repeating. She traced it to a nearby star system, uncharted in any database. It was not a distress call. It was deliberate. Someone or something wanted to be found. "I think we're not alone here," Lena said, her eyes gleaming. "Not alone, but we might be the first to arrive." The Ardent's voice was steady. "Proceed with caution. Analyze the signal." Hours passed. Lena decoded the message using both the ship's AI and her own understanding of languages and symbols. It was a series of coordinates, not just of space, but of knowledge, archives, records, possibly even technology lost to humanity. "This is amazing," she whispered. "We're standing at the edge of history." And she knew it was true. The forgotten starship had carried her here, across uncharted sectors, because humanity needed to reclaim what was lost. She wasn't just piloting a machine. She was reviving curiosity, courage, and ingenuity, the very traits that made humans explorers in the first place. Preparing for the unknown as Part 2 came to a close, Lena prepared to enter the star system indicated by the mysterious signal. She ran every diagnostic, recalibrated the engines, and studied the coordinates carefully. She didn't know what awaited her: ancient structures, unknown life forms, or perhaps an intelligence far beyond humanity's current understanding. But she didn't hesitate. Humans thrived on curiosity, on hope, on the desire to explore the unknown. "You ready?" she asked the Ardent. "I am always ready," it said, "but now it is your courage that will determine what we find." Lena gripped the controls. She smiled. Ahead lay the unknown. Ahead lay discovery. Ahead lay humanity proving once again that even forgotten things could rise with determination and ingenuity. The starship hummed. The coordinates blinked. The stars stretched endlessly. And together, human and machine stepped into the next chapter of adventure, ready to uncover secrets no one had seen in centuries. The stars stretched endlessly outside the cockpit window. Lena Kale gripped the controls of the Ardent with a mix of excitement and awe. Ahead lay the uncharted system that had sent the mysterious signals. Coordinates flickered on the holographic map, marking a path that no human had ever traveled before. "Are you ready?" Lena asked softly. "I am always ready," the Ardent replied, its voice calm, almost like a friend speaking. "But this journey will test your courage and ingenuity in ways you cannot yet imagine." Lena smiled. That was exactly what she wanted. Humans were explorers. She had been told, laughed at, and dismissed. Yet here she was, in a ship no one believed could fly, heading toward the unknown. Arrival at the uncharted system. As the Ardent approached the system, Lena's sensors detected something incredible. The planets glowed softly, with rings that shimmered in strange colors. Asteroids floated lazily in complex formations, almost as if they were arranged on purpose. Energy readings pulsed gently across the system, forming patterns she had never seen. "This is beautiful," Lena whispered. "It is unusual," the Ardent replied. "The energy patterns suggest intelligent design. Perhaps a civilization existed here long ago." Lena's heart raced. She had seen nebulae, star clusters, and distant galaxies, but this was something different. It was not just visually stunning, it was a puzzle waiting for human understanding. She maneuvered the Ardent closer to the system's largest planet. Its surface shimmered with crystalline structures. Her sensors indicated artificial architecture buried beneath layers of mineral and energy fields. "Someone was here," Lena said, "a long time ago, and they left something," decoding the mystery. The Ardent projected a holographic overlay of the planet. Patterns, symbols, and grids appeared, glowing faintly in response to her touch. Lena realized the starship's AI and her own intuition would have to work together to understand them. Hours passed as Lena deciphered the symbols. She aligned them with the coordinates she had collected from the ship's hidden logs. Slowly, a pattern emerged, a series of nodes across the planet, each representing a knowledge archive or technology cache. "This is incredible," Lena breathed. "It's a library, a storehouse of knowledge from a civilization long gone, and no one alive has ever seen it." The Ardent's voice was calm but respectful. "You are the first human to approach these archives. Your ingenuity and perseverance are restoring what was lost. Humanity has been given another chance." Lena felt a surge of pride. All the doubt, all the laughter from the auction hall, all the sneers from engineers and corporations, it didn't matter anymore. She had proven that human determination could revive what others considered impossible. The first archive landing the Ardent on the planet's smooth surface was a challenge. Gravity shifted slightly, and hidden magnetic fields tugged at the ship. Lena recalibrated thrusters and adjusted stabilizers. The ship responded instantly, adapting to her commands. When the engines shut down, silence enveloped them. The crystal structures glowed softly in response to the Ardent's presence. Lena activated the ship's scanners. Energy readings pinpointed the first archive, a crystalline building perfectly preserved. She stepped out of the ship in her suit, careful but excited. The archive's surface responded to her touch, opening slowly with a soft hum. Inside, panels illuminated, displaying holographic data, knowledge far beyond current human understanding. This could change everything, Lena whispered. She moved from panel to panel, absorbing information about energy efficiency, propulsion systems, and medicine. Every archive was a treasure, revealing secrets lost to time. The Ardent's AI monitored the process, providing context and explanations for systems Lena couldn't yet comprehend. Together, human and machine worked to decode the archives, unlocking centuries of knowledge. Unexpected challenges as Lena moved deeper into the system, she discovered anomalies that required creative solutions. Some archives were shielded by energy barriers. Others floated above the surface, suspended in anti-gravity fields. Lena improvised constantly. She used the Ardent's magnetic thrusters to lift her across gaps. She rerouted energy from dormant systems to power shields. Every obstacle became an opportunity to demonstrate human ingenuity. "You are remarkable," the Ardent said. "You adapt where machines alone would fail." "You embody the essence of human potential," Lena smiled. "That's why we explore, not because it's easy, but because it challenges us to think differently." It was true. Humans had survived, thrived, and conquered the impossible not through brute force, but through creativity and determination. Lena felt that truth in every decision she made. The greatest discovery. After several days, Lena reached the heart of the system, a massive structure orbiting a small star. It was unlike anything she had ever seen, a sphere of interwoven crystal and metal, glowing with soft energy. The Ardent sensors detected archives within, but also something else, a central core pulsing with lifelike energy. "This is the central archive," Lena said, "the source of everything in this system." The AI's voice was solemn. "It contains the cumulative knowledge of a civilization lost to time, and it awaits a human to activate it fully." Lena realized the significance. This was the culmination of her journey. The Starship, forgotten and dismissed, had led her here. Humanity, long underestimated, was now in a position to reclaim what had been lost. Carefully, she activated the central core. Light spread across the structure, illuminating the archives and syncing with the Ardent. Data flowed into her ship systems, expanding her understanding of technology, energy, and exploration. She gasped. The knowledge was immense, yet comprehensible. The Ardent's AI worked alongside her, translating the alien information into usable formats. Together, they had unlocked centuries of progress in days. The HFY moment. Lena stepped outside the ship and gazed at the glowing system. She felt small, yet powerful. She was a single human who had taken a forgotten starship, repaired it, and uncovered a civilization's lost knowledge. This proves something," she said. "Humans may be flawed, but we can achieve the impossible. We can rise where others doubt us. We can bring life back to what was forgotten." The Ardent hummed in agreement. "And we have only begun. The galaxy is vast. There are more lost archives, more knowledge to recover. And you human have shown the way." Lena smiled. Adventure, curiosity, and perseverance had brought her here. She realized the journey wasn't just about technology or discovery. It was about the human spirit, the ability to imagine, to create, and to persevere against doubt and neglect. Preparing for the next step. Lena spent days cataloging the archives, transferring knowledge to the Ardent, and planning future expeditions. Each archive provided insights into energy systems, starship design, and even new ways to communicate across the galaxy. Yet she didn't feel the weight of responsibility as a burden. She felt excitement. The Ardent had been her partner, and together they had achieved what no human had done in centuries. The galaxy was open again, waiting for exploration, learning, and discovery. As she prepared to leave the system, Lena paused to look back at the central archive. The light pulsed gently as if acknowledging her efforts. She whispered, "We'll be back. Humanity deserves to know what's here." The Ardent's engines hummed, ready. "Shall we continue?" Lena nodded. "Yes, let's see what else humanity can find." A human triumph as the Ardent left the system. Lena reflected on the journey. She had started with nothing, a broken, forgotten starship, dismissed by everyone. Yet with determination, skill, and courage, she had revived it and unlocked secrets lost to time. The galaxy was vast, filled with unknowns. But she knew one thing: humans had a unique gift, the ability to dream, to adapt, and to explore where machines or others might fail. She smiled. The adventure was far from over, and somewhere in the stars more mysteries awaited for human ingenuity, curiosity, and courage to uncover. For now, Lena and the Ardent soared through space, a testament to what humans could achieve. Forgotten ships could fly again. Lost knowledge could be found, and humanity, undaunted, imaginative, and persistent, could rise to meet any challenge. The stars stretched endlessly before them, and for the first time, Lena felt she was truly home among them.